Okay, thank you. Bear with me for the silence. And also, we're going to learn to eliminate that sales resistance through this really cool formula that I think I'm the only one that uses it and has invented. And I'm also going to do the popular Q&A, which you guys are used to. So what else are we going to start to learn tonight? My 3 secret formulas, extremely simple. One's called the super awesome benefits identifier formula. Now that sounds crazy. It sounds kind of crazy to me too. I'm going to identify the best benefits and how you can plug and play a template right in to see if you're writing the right benefits that people care about. I'm also have the wee calculation formula. And no, it's not about any trips to the bathroom. It's a very interesting online free tool that I'm going to show you tonight that is completely funny but very telling. And you guys are going to pitch in on that with me tonight and learn a little bit about your own website live. Also, the love conflict secret formula. And if you don't know what that means, I'm going to outline something so profound it's just going to knock you off your socks off, and you're going to change the way you've been doing business. So anytime you see my cute little smiling face there, you see that smiling face. It's actually a shot from one of those mall photo booths of me just recently. Anytime you see that, that means there's a stealthy persuasion trick being described, and that's the time when you want to write down the tip in blood, pen, pencil, whatever you have on hand, because it's something I want you to pay strict attention to, so keep an eye out for the smiley face. And now, don't fear writing like people. Some people fear writing as much as public speaking, but this is going to be very easy. I'm not asking you to be a creative writer tonight. I'm just going to show you quick formulas that you can plug in, basically, and have your content almost a written formula for you. Why is emotional content important? And Google is going to come out with something called author rank, and I'll cover a little bit more about that in the Q&A. But they're going to be looking at not just how people write or not just the keywords and all the things that we used to use to get search positioning, but they're going to look at real things that people do when they're on your website. Well, the first thing that when a visitor comes to your site and you have emotional content, it obviously, and this is important to us life coaches and any kind of consultants or anybody selling anything to help people, it builds rapport, trust, and credibility, which is really important for our business. It also, of course, brings visitors back. If they like your stuff, especially blog posts, they're going to keep reading. They're going to subscribe and keep reading. And they're going to come back. And that's very important, not just for repeat visits, just like a store, but it's important for your search positioning. And I'll show you how in just a second. It also decreases what's called a bounce rate. A bounce rate is when someone comes to your site and they go, this wasn't what I was looking for, and they're out of there in 10 seconds or 5 seconds. The higher the bounce rate, the worse your search positioning. If the content is compelling and people are getting into a story and they really like it, they're going to read it longer. It's called stickiness. We want our people to stay on our website as long as possible. And that decreases what's called the bounce rate. It also tears down the walls of resistance. So if you're going to sell anything or give away anything at all for an opt-in, or you want any kind of conversion at all, which I know we do, we're here to make money on these websites, we have to tear down the wall of resistance, which is extremely important if we're going to make a sale. The new rules of search, something just so profound that only this last couple of months has anything started to really start to appear in the search results. But these new rules will strictly, and we're starting to see this out there as us internet marketing people, we start analyzing stuff, we're starting to see websites that have very little content or content that is basically not engaging actually banned from the search results. And that's not what we want to happen. Good for you. You're on tonight's webinar and you'll learn how to write more compelling content so that those 98% of all those other websites that have crappy, boring, salesy kind of content will be banned and eliminated, and maybe your site will be pushed up further in the search results. Also, content that people share. Google knows that, and a lot of that stuff can go viral. You've seen where someone shares a really funny blog post with their friends, and then they share it with their friends, and they put it on Facebook and tweet it out, and this is a sharing viral society now. So if your content is funny and exciting and educational and compelling, people will want to share it. Google is going to look at what kind of experience does the visitor have. Do they actually like the page. Well, how does Google know what people like? You're sitting there reading a web page. How does Google know what you like? Well, Google's a little bit like Santa Claus. They kind of know, he kind of knows everything, okay? And you don't know how that is, but he knows. They're very sneaky. But let me show you 4 things that they can tell right off the bat. One is how many times a return visitor comes to your site. Google knows that. If people are leaving comments on your site, Google can tell that. If it's being shared by those share buttons and being Google plus one and people are tweeting about it or Facebook liking it, Google knows that. They know where the traffic is coming from and they know where it's going. Also, stickiness, that's how long someone stays on your site. Google knows how long people are staying on your site. The longer they stay, the higher your search results. Google is going to start rewarding websites that have these 4 elements, and these 4 elements are directly created by the kind of killer emotional content that you're going to learn about tonight. One thing, emotional content, that you want to keep in mind when you start thinking about what it is and what it is that I have to actually put on there. How is emotional content different than the content I have on my site already? Well, one is, and I think you do have an advantage over most people, understanding your prospect. You really have to understand what it is they're searching for. You're trying not to get all kinds of traffic or just any kind of traffic. You're trying to get a certain kind of person to your website so that you can write the words that they understand, that you can sell them something that they can appreciate. So a better understanding of your prospect is the number one and first thing that you want to do while you start to craft your emotional content. Second thing you want to keep in mind is sometimes you have to push the envelope a little bit and start talking about emotions and problems and situations that your prospect may be having or going through or trying to find the answers for, and even taboo stuff that you may feel a little uncomfortable about talking about. You've got to put it out there, because if you're just being like a brochure and your website is just saying the standard stuff and your competition is talking about the very emotionally touchy stuff, the stuff that your website visitor is really looking for, then they're going to win that person's heart and they're going to win that person's business. So you have to get comfortable in addressing taboo emotions. Also, what does that take? Comfort in expressing your own. And a lot of us have a little bit of a problem expressing our feelings, but the more comfortable we are with expressing our emotions on our websites and on our written content, the more of an emotional connection we're going to make with our visitor, which will bring all the sales resistance down and the wallets ripped out. Brian McGill said, I don't even know who he is, but I love this quote, "Comfort in expressing your emotions will allow you to share the best of yourself with others." And isn't that what we're trying to do as business people on our website, is share ourselves with others? That's a very important part of why we even exist in our business. Big tip number 1 I want to cover tonight is avoiding jargon. All you have to do is think opposite of a brochure or a used car salesman or a business card, and don't use your jargon of your inside industry speak. You want to write in what we call your own voice. So that's a really important thing in learning to do, is writing in your own voice. And here's an example of writing your own voice. I was sent this piece of copy here for an ad from a client, and said he wanted me to look at it and see if I could spruce it up a little bit. And he wrote, "Our weight loss system has helped thousands of women just like you to lead healthier and happier lives." Well, actually, that's pretty darn good if you ask me. What do you think, Vicki? That sounds pretty good, right? Pretty good. I liked it, and but it's a little distant, you know. I wanted to add a little bit of a personal connection, and I wanted it to sound less like a brochure and kind of more like how I would talk to somebody. So I rewrote it as, "Butterflies of excitement ran through Lisa's body when she stepped on the scale this morning. Our product had really worked. When's the last time you felt that way?" I rewrote that, and I just wanted to first off add someone's name. It's a fake character. It's not even Lisa's really nobody. It's just like a fake customer testimonial. I talk about butterflies of excitement, a personal thing that people really go through when they're about to step on that scale and realize that they really lost weight. And then I phrased it with ending with a question. When's the last time you felt that way? So the customer has to answer in the affirmative. Well, I haven't felt that way in a long time, or maybe never. So maybe this product may be something I should try. And when I sent that back and they used that, there was a 22% increase in the sales of that product. So I was really proud of that. But what I did here was I spoke in my own voice. I kind of wrote less like a brochure and more like I would talk to somebody. So try to practice that a little bit when you can, and it comes out a little bit different. Also, there's benefits and versus process. And process is explaining how everything works a little bit too deeply. And sometimes that can throw somebody off a little bit. The more you explain the process, the more confused they get and the less personal they take the process. It just definitely just kind of depersonalizes the whole experience. So instead of process, think of what benefits do people want? What kind of benefits do they have? So I was sent this piece of copy from somebody who wanted me to look at it. And they said, our new technology will clean your carpets with more power and reliability. Super Clean does the job that others can't. That sounds pretty much like a typical ad. You see that every day. They're talking about technology and how it's got more power and reliability. There's nothing wrong with any of that. But I thought I'd capture some of the things that real people think about and try to add that to copy. So I wrote, fresh, clean carpets for your children to play on and more time to spend with them? Yes, Super Clean can do all of that. Now, I didn't change this a whole lot, but what I did talk about was two benefits that are extremely important to people that we sometimes forget to address, and one is our family, and the second one is time. So I wanted to throw in those two powerful elements. Children are playing on safe and clean environment, and because Super Clean comes in and does the job for you, I don't have to spend my time, my quality family time, cleaning my house. I can spend more time playing on fresh, clean carpet. So I just added those two simple benefits, and I'll show you the formula for that in just a minute. And when I sent this back, there was a 32% increase in new customers over at Super Clean. So I was really proud of that. Let's get the third biggest tip that I like to have everyone practice in their writing. It's avoiding hype. You know, you don't have to be pushy and salesy like a used car salesman. You need to start to trust some of the visitors that you have to do the right thing on their own. As long as you start to talk about comfort, that's one benefit that few ads really touch upon. And they're so busy trying to make sure we're making money and selling the product that we forget about things like making the customer feel good. So I was sent this ad by somebody, and I can barely believe that they actually sent me an ad like this and asked my opinion on it. Make $21,000 a day with this proven system of internet affiliate websites. 130,000 customers can't be wrong. That is so salesy and pushy, it almost scares me to death, okay? And I really don't like it. And if you think that people don't really like write ads like this, look at this one I just saw yesterday. How to create up to 23 different income streams and earn $2,000 while you sleep at night without ever having to cold call. I don't want to do any of that. I can't even monetize, you know, half the income streams. Most people can't monetize a single income stream. I don't want 23 of them, okay? How can I sleep at night if I'm trying to manage 23 different income streams without having to cold call? I don't even know what all this means, but these ads, they're out there all the time where they stick these real numbers in there, what you can make every day, and it's almost hilarious. But I rewrote it without any of the numbers, without any 130,000 customers, which depersonalizes the entire ad, and I just focused on comfort. One thing that I know a lot of us these days are worried about, and I wrote, Bob no longer worries about being fired. The lifestyle he's created with our affiliate income websites has given him freedom and peace of mind. So I didn't have to use any numbers and throw any kind of wall of resistance building salesy hype in this ad to touch a nerve and an emotion with people that is very important. One is comfort and safety and being fired. That's something a lot of us are worried about. A lot of people have been worried about just recently with the economy. And when I rewrote this, there was 44% increase in click-through rates without mentioning any big totals or any big salesy numbers. So what are the real benefits then to the people that visit your website? Well, most of us think it's about money. Think that we want to be a part of something exclusive, that we want to make $2,000 a day, that we want everything done for us or pronto, or we want to date the hottest women and buy the fanciest cars. Those aren't the real benefits that really matter to your customer, especially in the life-centered and heart-centered businesses that mainly my community has, us on this webinar especially. These are the real benefits: time, family, freedom, peace, and especially a lot of people forget about dreams, the dreams that each one of us have, comfort, and then of course ego and prestige. These are extremely important benefits that when you start writing your copy based on these kinds of benefits and leave out the salesy, hypey, process, baloney stuff, you'll see huge increases in conversion like I showed you with those real numbers. Here is a way to plug and play using colors that I use. You don't have to stick all 7 of those benefits that I just showed you into an ad or a piece of copy or your website, but you want to sprinkle a few of them, 2 or 3 at a time, into the copy. So I picked 3 here. I picked freedom, peace, and comfort. Maybe I picked those because those are the ones I enjoy the most. Couldn't tell you. But someone sent me an ad, another client sent me an ad, and I really liked this because it's kind of down to earth. And the ad said, "We've been so pleased with how popular the juice has been that we got back into the kitchen and have made some delicious juice blends, which we think everyone will enjoy just as much." I kind of like that because it's very personal. It's not very hypey, really. It's kind of speaking in your own voice. It's kind of personal. So I didn't really have a whole lot of problem with it. But I decided to plug and play these 3 different benefits, which I don't really see in this copy, and I wrote. And I used color codes here to help set it apart. I wrote, "You can choose," that's freedom, "from our delicious apple and raspberry recipe or totally tasty tropical, depending on whether you need to be transported to a serene," that's peace, "country orchard or a desert island," that's comfort. So I threw in some benefits here that kind of made people feel fuzzy. And I also added the name of the product because I wanted to make sure that we were branding the names properly. So you can always go through and do some color coding like this. Pick 3 benefits, whether it be time, family, and ego, and try to mix these different benefits around. These 1 back here I showed you, these 8 here are ones that you want to experiment with. And there's the happy face. So you want to make sure that you write these down. Of course, they'll be on the recording and the slides tomorrow. But you want to make sure that you pick 2 or 3 at a time and make sure you stick them in the copy, just like I did here. But I want to show you one secret little trick that I changed on here that I noticed about this ad compared to mine. And if you don't see it, voila, I'm going to highlight it right here in the bold. In the first copy that they sent, they talked about them, mentioning the word we, and they didn't say anything about the customer. I changed that so that it said you. So I focused on the customer and only mentioned the word we once. In fact, I didn't say that at all. I mentioned the word our. So they had what is called inclusive, or, well, it's called exclusive. It made people, excluded people, but anyone but themselves. And I wrote the words you, which are inclusive, bringing the customer in. These are called customer-focused words. And I think more than anything, that is what made that ad so much better and so different. So inward marketing is when you constantly talk about your business, or we do a great job. Our system is the best. I've learned so much, blah, blah, blah. If you focus on yourself, it makes the customer feel lonely. You have to reach out to your customer and grab them. So you want to use customer-focused words such as you and yours. And I have a really cool online site called the Wee Generator. And the formula is here, you want to talk about your customers 2 times as often as you talk about yourself. But you don't want to have to go through here and count how many times you use the word you and we and I and our. I have a secret online thing that you can use that'll tell you instantly. It's called the Wee Generator. I'm going to go over to that right now. And I'm going to go to the Wee calculator. And let me show you. It's actually at futurenowinc.com/wee.htm. Wee. Oh, you got to love that. But here is the Wee calculator online page. And you can see here you can pop in a website. I'm going to pop in one right now. I'm going to go to, well, I'm going to start with my mentor, Tom Antion, and I'm going to go to his site. Since I've worked for him and learned a lot of this stuff from him, I want to see how good a job he's doing. So you can see here I popped in the name of just the URL, and I'm going to score. And the Wee calculator is going to go through all the text on here and pick out the customer-focused words compared to your industry-focused words. And it should be 2 to 1. Well, you can see Tom here, his customer focus rate is 78%. 11 customer-focused words, and the self-focus rate is only 21%. He only mentioned himself 3 times. That's 4 times as often as you speak about yourself that you spoke about your customers, and that's excellent. I'm going to go back to the Wee, and I'm going to pop in a sales letter of mine that I did, that I wrote not too long ago, and you can also put in different words. I'm going to go ahead and put starting a jewelry business.com. Oh, it would help if I spelled it right. Starting a jewelry business.com. That's a sales letter I wrote. I want to test it. I haven't tested it yet, so I want to check. And okay, 62% customer focus rate to 37%. 2 times as often. I talk about the customer 2 times as often as I speak about myself. See, I've got this formula down. So here's what we're going to do tonight, guys. Who wants to volunteer? And I'll put this thing in right now. Anybody out there want to volunteer their site for the Wee calculator? Just go ahead and write your site in the chat box, and we'll see who is ready to do this. alborowski.com. Okay. We'll try that. Alborowski. Sorry, that's a crazy one. Let me get it. All right, Al, you ready? You ready, brother? We're gonna test this out. Now, don't be embarrassed if it's really bad. Holy cow! Good job, Al. Check this out. Look at this, guys. 95% customer focus rate. Self-focus rate, 5%, 19 times. Actually, Al, maybe you should start talking about yourself a little bit more. I can't believe that. Holy cow, that's not what I was expecting there, my friend. So good job. I think that's excellent. I don't know if you've watched this webinar before already, but that was really cool. I like that. So I'm going to put in Joyce Dillon. She wants me to pop hers in here, some brave soul here. Joyce Dillon, let's test the Wee score on Joyce. I got a feeling this might be pretty good too. Anytime it's thinking, it's thinking, it's thinking. Ooh, uh-oh, Joyce. Your customer focus rate's only 30%. You talk about yourself 2 times as often as you speak about your customer. Joyce, here's a little bit of a tip. You're a life coach, and you're trying to reach those people with emotional words that make them want to trust you. I've seen your site, and Joyce, and you try really hard to explain how qualified you are to make people feel better. And you don't really have to do that quite as much. You can talk about their problems and how the training can affect them and how your qualifications can affect them. You want to start talking in the customer-focused words. So that was eye-opening, Joyce. I really want that to be a little bit higher, but let's try a couple more here. So you got a little bit of homework to do there, Joyce. Let's check out who else here. Prevent abusive relationships. Let me try that one. Guys are testing my typing skills here. I can't type worth a crap, and you guys are making me do this. Okay, I love it. But I asked for it. Okay, prevent abusive relationships. Jeannie, let's check out your Weeby score. And guys, you can try this at home anytime. Wow, that didn't seem to, I'm not sure. That didn't seem to work. So maybe there's something wrong with that. You might have to try that on your own, Jeannie. I'm not sure what happened there. Let's try another one before we get moving on. We'll do Charlene, good old Charlene. She's always been a big fan of mine, so I want to try that. Charlene Cristiano, I hope I spelled that right. Let's see, Cristiano. Okay, I think I did. Let's check out the Weeby score on Charlene. Customer focus rate, 56% to 43%. That's not too bad. You can improve that a little bit, Charlene. So you definitely want to try that a little bit. And I want to try one more real quick. See, guys, this is something crazy. Yeah, Charlene, I have a little bit of work to do. Great marketing plan tips. Carol says you need to spell it right. Yeah, I know. I probably misspelled it. Sorry, Carol. I'm with the worst typer on earth. I just can't believe I'm sitting here trying to type this crap out loud. Okay, great marketing plan tips. All right, James, you ready? This is probably going to be really, really good. We're going to see. 76% to 23%. Good job, James. Good job, buddy. That's really good. So that's you definitely want to change this yippee. Yeah, I know you've been working hard on that one, guys. So you definitely want to see that. So that is really cool. You guys need to go to the Weeby calculator and make sure that you're talking about your customers 2 times as often as you talk about yourself. That's a very simple formula and one I really wanted to show you tonight. And there's the happy face, obviously, when I take this sip of wine. Hold on. Merlot tonight. Thank you. Definitely very tasty. So there's the smiley face. Vicky's laughing because she's had way too much wine, but she's enjoying it. Smiley face means write this down. This is one of the more important things, the Weeby generator. All right, here's something that you guys probably are very good at, but you probably haven't implemented quite as much because you don't think it has its place on a website. Some of you do, some of you don't. It runs the gamut, but storytelling. Obviously, if you want to have emotional content, you want a shortcut without being some creative writer, have to go to some creative writing class at your local community college and be yelled at because you don't understand weird visualization dramas and all this other stuff. Just simply tell us stories. Because when you tell a story, your visitors get emotionally involved. They love it. It eliminates resistance, and fiction never feels persuasive. You're able to take stories and actually use them to connect audience. Some of the guidelines that you can use, well, use real events from your life. That's probably the easiest thing you can do. Or if you've had a boring life and have no great stories to tell, you can always go to borrow someone else's, like on Seinfeld when they borrowed Kramer's stories for the catalog, which you can do that too if you have to, if you're really that bad. So you want to appeal to your visitors' emotions. The story should connect, make a connection, saying, you know, I know what it's like to be like you. I went through the same situations, but maybe I found out something that I was able to use to get through it, and now I want to share that with you. It's a perfect story. And when you're telling that solution, how you discovered it, how you implemented it, and how you can help them, you're actually guiding them to a decision of positive results, which is usually your product or service, okay? The things that you learned to get past the problems that your visitor is there searching for is your product and your service. You don't have to sell that, hard sell. You can sell it by making putting a hand out, a virtual handshake, and saying, I know what it's like, and I'm here to help. What kind of stories can we use? Well, look, here's a few. If you can't think of any, boy meets girl, how we've all done that, or girl meets boy, however, which way it goes. Small town boy or girl makes good. Overcoming pain and obstacles. We've all done this. Think back about these things that you've gone through and share, share, share. Learning something new even after it seems too late. Oh my God, I'm the candidate for that. I didn't start even this marketing stuff. I'm almost 50 years old. Okay, I was a jeweler before this. I had no idea this was even helping people make money, helping people write, helping people feel better. I had no idea I could do that. Selling retail my entire life, okay? Create meaningful relationships with family and friends. All these things here are what people think about. They're the benefits that matter most. And it's the kinds of stories you can write to create killer emotional content. Now, this is really interesting. We're going to talk about creative writing just a little bit here. I don't want to scare anybody, but we're going to talk about some creative writing based on the kinds of way people write ads. And there's 3 elements that are common to both of these. In a book, you'll see there's love, conflict, and resolution. That's your basic giant outline of a typical novel. Love. Beautiful daughter, goes to school, has a wonderful life, grows up, has kids. Conflict, she gets kidnapped. Nobody can find her. That's the whole plot of the story. The resolution. Dad comes with a 44 Magnum and kills all the bad guys and rescues his daughter and stands up for, family values. There's your whole story. Love, conflict, and resolution. It's very common in creative writing. Now, obviously, there's way more elements than that, but this is your 3 basic structures. In ads, you'll see a little bit of the same thing. You'll see love. Our product is really fantastic. It helps change lives. The conflict, but you don't have a whole lot of time or your health is deteriorating. And the call to action, you need this now. You need this now to save your life. Okay, these are the 3 kinds of elements that are in a typical ad copy. And it's very similar to creative writing. But I have a different formula, and I want to share that with you. It's something very unique and something that I kind of came up with myself. And it's called the love, conflict, call to action formula. And it's a stealthy persuasion trick. And I want to show you something extremely important here. Okay, love, conflict, and a call to action. That's the main thing that we have on our websites. But I'm here to tell you that only 2 of these are really needed for super persuasive content. One of these, my friends, creates a very negative wall of resistance. Which one of these? Write in the chat box and tell me which one of these 3 would you take away to keep from creating a wall of resistance. Mark says call to action. Go ahead and write in the chat box. Call to action, Carol says. Carter says love. There's no right or wrong answers. Bob Walker says call to action. Charlene says call to action. Yep, you guys are getting warmer over here. Definitely one of these can create it's very common to put a call to action and have all these elements for very powerful ads. But one of these creates a resistance. And I want to kind of show you a visual story here. This is a video very popular on YouTube. It's called The Power of Words. You guys might have seen it. Since I can't really play a video in real time on a webinar, I decided to just grab some of these photos from the video and tell the story. And if you haven't seen this, this beggar here, he's blind and he sits every day in this plaza in Ireland, and he begs for money with this little tin can, and he can't see, and he sits there every day, and the people gather around the plaza, and they're having fun on their lunch hour, and they're laughing and talking, and they're just kind of ignoring the guy. They see him there every day. He has this sign that he puts out, and he has it every day, and it says, "I'm blind, please help." Well, people see this, and they see him sitting there every day, and I don't know if they've become used to it or kind of jaded, but they walk by, they go about their day, they're busy in their business, and they don't really do a thing. And this one woman comes by here on her way to work. She sees him pretty much every day, and she looks at the sign. She decides maybe she can help change the sign for him, so she picks it up, And she starts to write something different on the sign. And she continues to write, and he can smell her perfume, so he knows that she's there writing on the sign. He can hear her writing in the magic marker. She gives him back the sign, and she goes off back to work, being at her lunch hour. Well, then all of a sudden, something kind of miraculous happens, and people start giving money. He can hear the money hitting the cardboard as people walk by. And more people start giving, and he starts scooping up the money and kind of putting it in his can, and he's getting kind of excited because he's able to eat tonight. People keep giving. All of a sudden, people are just giving like crazy. And he can hear the change hitting the cardboard, and he just gets more and more excited. More people start giving. More people start giving. And there's only one way to tell how he can actually eat every night is the weight of the coins in his can. So he picks it up and he shakes it and realizes he's got more money in there than almost a week's worth of sitting out there every day. And he can't figure out what in the world the difference was. Well, the same lady comes back again after she gets off of work, and he's still sitting there, and she comes by, and he can smell her perfume. So he asks her, "Ma'am, what did you do to my sign?" And she said, "It's the same sign. I just used different words." But what words did she actually write on that sign that changed everything? It's a beautiful day, and I can't see it. I know, that one gets to me too every time I see it, every time I tell that story, you know. It's kind of neat. And based on what she wrote compared to what he had written, I wonder now which of these would you remove? You guys got any guesses at the formula I'm about to present to you? Would it be love or conflict, call to action? Go ahead and put your answer in the chat box if you think you know the answer. What do you think? What do you think, Vicki?
Call to action.
Right. Here, his sign was conflict, call to action. Very much like most ads that you see out there. You need to lose weight, buy our weight loss product today. Your boyfriend just left you, get this book on how to find another boyfriend. You know, very conflict, call to action-y. And sometimes people get a little offended at that. The one she wrote was just love and conflict. But I want to ask you something out right now, you guys. If she didn't write a call to action, then how did the people know how to give? How did they know? If you didn't tell them to give, like he asked to please help and they ignored it, she didn't ask anything. Mark says there was a buy button. Nice. Okay, thanks. People naturally know how to take action, Julia says. Or the give can, Mark says, right? Her love conflict, it's a beautiful day and I can't see it. Well, people, they didn't have that wall of resistance. All of a sudden they were taken to another place, just love and conflict. When he wrote conflict, call to action, I'm blind, please help, they didn't give. When she wrote love, conflict, it's a beautiful day and I can't see it, they gave like crazy. The love conflict formula, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion and my formula, so take it as it may be, a call to action creates an immediate sales resistance for many visitors. If you just tell a simple story about how you came to be and how you learned the life lessons that you've learned, and you tell those stories in an emotional, prospect-touching, heart-centered way, it brings the resistance down. And you don't have to tell your visitor what to do. You can trust your visitor to make the right decision without calls to action, without being pushy, and without being salesy. The love conflict formula creates instant curiosity and instant sales resistance removal. Let me show you this formula in action with the love and conflict. These are headlines. These can be blog titles. These can be YouTube video titles. They can be email subject lines. They can be book titles. They can be anything, but you can create the love and conflict formula. Your product can help people is the love, but no one's buying it is the conflict. If the real estate market is recovering, why will 48% of agents lose their job this year? These are ones I just wrote off the top of my head. using this love and conflict formula. I met the soulmate of my dreams, then he disappeared without a trace. And here's one I didn't write, but I really love. Often a bridesmaid, never a bride. And yeah, Vicky's starting to tear up over here. That happens to her a lot. You are so in love with your boyfriend, he just left you for another woman. You're a great public speaker, and you're not making any money. You're exercising and feeling great, but you're slowly dying inside. Now, that's a conflict, okay? That's a bad conflict. These things here, without calls to action, create a massive amount of curiosity. And I want you guys right now, using this love and conflict, try to make an ad headline for me and write it in the box, in the chat box, and see if you guys can use this love and conflict. I'm going to sit here and have a glass of wine while you guys think about it. Use something in your own business. I'll just make one off the top of my head. Vicky, think of some kind of business, some kind of product or business, and I'll use the love conflict formula. Ice cream. Vicky says ice cream. Ice cream. Okay. Love. Ice cream comes in 56 flavors and you love them all, but it's making you extremely overweight. Now, there's curiosity there. I want to think, what's he talking about? Is there going to be ice cream that doesn't make me gain weight? Or maybe you've enjoyed ice cream your whole life, but now that you're type 2 diabetic, you can never eat it again. You know, that makes me want to know what it is that I'm talking about. So it's curiosity builders. And go ahead and try one for yourself. And I only saw, these are great. I got a bunch rolling in here. Mark says, you're a great healer, but you don't have any patience. I like that. Mark says, you're a talented musician, but you can't get any gigs. Good. Alita says, you want to quit smoking, but think it's too hard. That's not bad either. I like that too. Carol says, your wedding was wonderful, but you can't remember how you felt that day. Mm-hmm. Holy shit, I love that. How did she come up? That's excellent, Carol. In fact, that's so intriguing about what you're trying to really get to the crux of. It's building an immense curiosity in me. You know, I love that. Frank says, Frank from my old Code Stone days loves ice cream. I don't know what that means. Frank, come on, buddy. You can do better than that. I don't even know what that meant. Jeannie says, you met the man of your dreams, but he belittles and beats you behind closed doors. Jesus, Jeannie, that's some heavy duty stuff right there. But you did use the love conflict. I guess, you know what? We talked about addressing taboo emotions. Maybe you're really doing a better job of this than I thought. Mark says, why is it that you're an experienced IT executive, but you can't get the board to fund your data center update? That's good. It's definitely niche-oriented because I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, but it was a good love and formula. Bob Walker says, you'd love to take that big adventure, but you don't dare. Not bad, Bob. I like that one. Charlene says, you want to feel powerful, but you're afraid to let anyone see who you are. Ooh, I like that one too. You guys are doing really good here. This is really, really good, you guys. I'm so proud of you. The love and conflict formula really works. Carter, you scream, I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. I love that one. That's always a good stand. Harry says, if the economy is recovering, why are 3 out of 10 small businesses looking at closing this year? Good, Harry, very good. That's a good one. Al says, you got great grades in school, but academic ghosts haunt you at work. Interesting. Like that. Kevin says, I know you love seafood, but do you hate to be so shellfish? Okay. I love it. Frank's gonna try another one, ice cream Frank. I always want to look fit, but I am too lazy to work out. Okay. Keep trying, Frank. Joyce says, you have a relationship, but is eating your soul alive. Holy cow, Joyce. That is a conflict, and it is some love, yeah. Carol says, you want to buy the perfect gift, but there's nothing left on the registry. Oh, man, you guys are killing me on this. I love it. You guys did a 110% fantastic job. Thank you with the love conflict. That was great. Bob says, frankly, scallop, I don't give a clam. Definitely. Okay, that is excellent. Okay, we're going to the Q&A here, and I just want to ask you again tonight, and you guys can put in yes and whatever in the chat box, and heck yes, and hell yeah, whatever. Did I keep my promise tonight? Did we have a good time? Did what Google wants to see in website content? Did I go over a little bit of that? How a call to action creates sales resistance? Did I show you the story of the beggar? Did that make sense to you guys? Did I keep my promise about how love and conflict can be persuasive? And also, did I keep my promise to you guys to increase your customer-centered words? Did I give you the wee calculator and why that's important? And did I outline the benefits that are most important? James says, you are brilliant, always terrific. Charlene says, yes, you did. Bob says, yep. Al says, yep, absolutely. Bob says, wonderful. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that. Carol asked the question, does Google count blog posts as website content? Absolutely. Blog posts are your most powerful content, Carol, so keep in mind that. Julia says, great content, yes. Joyce says, yep. Bob says, yep, yep, yep. Charlene says, yes, as always. Mark says, yep, good stuff. Following Tom's footsteps. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's a massive compliment to me. So also, was I cute and funny with my smiling face there? Was I cute and funny too? Was I cute and funny?
Always.
Yeah, always. Vicky's my biggest fan. She's learning how to write the killer of persuasive content. Bob says, what do we do with nonsense comments on our blog posts? I don't know, Bob. Call me. I don't know what that means, but you can call me tomorrow and ask me that or something. Bob is such a Carter says, so cute. I am cute. Well, you know, it's getting to be close to 60 minutes. I promised a 60-minute webinar. We're about to head into our Q&A, so stick around, plus the massively important Google news that I want to show you that I just found out today. I can't fit everything in that you need to know about making emotional content into a webinar. We'd be here for 8 hours or whatever. So what do you need to know? There's other things to keep in mind. You want to write in conversational tone. You want to write a conversational tone like you're talking to people. That's very powerful stuff. Also, you want to start building your expert persona. While you're connecting with people, you also want to build yourself into a credible source, a persona, an expert in your field. And frame yourself as an expert. And framing means not telling everyone yourself that you're the expert at, but having people tell you, their people, that you're the expert. That's far more powerful. I can say I'm a great copywriter all night long, but if Tony Robbins said it, you guys would be going nuts, okay? How do you do that? How do you frame yourself to get people to say things for you? Also, this is very important. When you have visitors come to a website and you're leading them through your website with actual step-by-step results, they'll be back and they'll buy from you over and over again. That's how Tom does it, and he's been doing it for years. Also, online video is extremely important. We're seeing welcome videos and YouTube videos. How do you stick these formulas in a video script? Very interesting. And also, how do you build a fanship? A fanship is not a big boat full of fans. It's your friends and followers on social networking. How do you get people to comment and share the content that you have? Well, I just need to tell you that the Stealth Persuasion Workshop, something I created, covers all of that and more. And what it is, it's 12 webinar workshop recordings about article, blogging, content strategies, creating product launches, writing perfect sales letters, which you guys know I do very well, how to create social proof, get people to share your stuff. These are different workshops that I had back between April and August of last year. How to get characters to sell for you. That's a great way to have fictional characters or characters that you make up, brand your own products. How to use your situations and your stories to brand yourself and your business. How do you craft powerful teleclass and webinar closes and increase conversions with stealthy, persuasive content? And how do we use the new media? How do you implement all these formulas and everything that we didn't get even a chance to talk to you tonight into text messaging on mobile phones? How do you create polls that make people want to buy? How do you do comment marketing? How do you make comments on other people's blogs and social networking to benefit you and help drive traffic to your website, and a bunch more? Well, these 12 webinar workshops, they were live, but I recorded each and every one of them. They were 2 hours each in 12 different topics. So that's 24 hours of video recordings. Each one had a live Q&A with really cool stuff on it. And the Stealth Persuasion Workshop comes with its own companion guide. God forbid Nothing comes with a fast track persuasion companion guide. And also did these 3 hours over the shoulder videos where I actually recorded me going over all my emails, sales letters, opt-ins, and tweets and everything else, and showing you exactly how I write persuasive content that you can use for yourself. And swipe files, these are really cool. These are real emails and sales letter templates that I borrowed off of all the big gurus out there, and stuffed in one big digital file, zip file that you can unload and actually just replace the brand names with your own business and send out emails, joint venture letters, opt-in scripts, everything. Actually, they literally millions of dollars. These are swipe files that come with the self-persuasion program. So that's 24 hours of recordings, 3 hours of training videos over the shoulder, the fast track guide, and the swipe files. And tonight, for sticking with me through this and being good sports and writing out your crazy headlines that I really cracked up on, a $730 worth of stuff tonight. You guys can get it over at expertwebwriting.com for $97 if that's something you want to do. And look, if you don't start changing your content, Google's going to start banning low content or content that just seems salesy. They're going to start banning that stuff for content that people like. So if you don't get this training somewhere from me tonight, find it somewhere, Google it somehow, and find out how to implement these things in yourself, but you can get it tonight. So that's absolutely, Liz says, put the link into the chat box. I sure will, because you guys can click right on it. Let's see, Expert Web. If I can spell, you always put me under the gun here on this. Writing, expertwebwriting.com. I put it in the chat box, and I'm going to send it to everybody, so you can just go there. It's a sales letter. It's real easy. You can just scroll down. I also have a payment plan of 3 payments every 30 days, $37 for you guys on a budget. Richard, my friend Richard, I think he's on here tonight. He said, if you charge twice the price for your program, I'd buy and tell others to buy. You have been outstanding responding to emails and questions, and that is worth everything. Thank you, Richard. And I did go back into your credit card and did charge you twice there because I love you, man. And that's what friends do. Sonia says, thank you so much. You're the best. Can't wait to work together. And she's over at the wonderful, beautiful Sonia over at pieceofthedreamer.com. And she loved the system, and I helped her edit her website and some of the content. And even the wonderful Joanne Dahlketter, who's on every webinar on the planet Earth, and I love her to death. And she's probably on here tonight, too. You're amazing, Colin. Loving your content tonight. Ah, Joanne, you're amazing, too. Okay, well, let's go back to the, super bonus. We're getting to the Q&A here. I want to mention, if anyone who buys tonight or tomorrow or anytime this week off of this webinar, my Stealth Persuasion program, I put in the super bonus. It's a one-on-one critique and editing of your website, your sales letters, your opt-ins, anything you've written by me personally. I will go through it, and I will help you rewrite it and change it for the best, highest possible conversions, just like I did those other ads in the beginning of the webinar that had the higher conversions. You can hire me as your personal editor for free if you purchase it tonight or anytime off of this webinar. And but because it takes so much time to actually do the editing, and I'm going to be going on a camping trip here in a couple months, I can only take the first 20 people. Now, that's not a call to action, and it's not some fancy thing to try to get you to buy. It's true, okay? I don't have a whole lot of time because I'm still trying to write this book, so I don't want to get bogged down and have people not be able to send me their information and me get to it in a timely manner. So the first 20 can take the super bonus. It's $197 value. Your actual personal creative writing consultant online can be yours tonight. Obviously now that's 24 hours of recording, 3 hours of training videos, a fast track guide, swipe files, and the one-on-one editing time with me, $197. That's $1,000 Vicky dollars worth of Vicky money worth of training. $1,000 worth of training, Vicky, just for 97 bucks, or 3 payments of 37. expertwebwriting.com, guys. So if you want to work with me tonight and you want all the swipe files and all the videos, you'll be up for like months watching this stuff because it took months to actually do it. So I poured everything I know into this thing. It's my heart and soul, and I'm here to help you so that you can help others. And this is what it's all about. So Liz says she bought it. Thank you so much. And remember, Expert Web Writing, $97. There's another picture of the hot, studly Colin Martin down at the bottom. Vicki just whipped out her Visa card. And I can't really run the credit card for you, Vicki. I'm going to go do something with it, okay? Expert Web Writing, I want to go ahead and start asking your questions. I'm going to start our live Q&A here. And I'm going to go back a little bit and see what questions have been answered. Mark says, are the webinars audio friendly? That is, can I listen while driving versus sitting at my desk? I guess. If you have like a laptop or a mobile device, you can watch the video on your iPhone, Mark, and you can do that while you're in your car, I do believe. So obviously I'd like to sit down and maybe put an MP3 version along with the slides, because the recording is going to have this whole thing. Actually, it's a YouTube video, the recording. You guys can watch it on YouTube. And remember, guys, start asking me questions now. It doesn't have to be about copy. It can be about anything. I know everything. So I'm like the oracle here of marketing. So SEO, content, marketing, linking strategy, shopping carts, whatever you got. Ask me a question. That's why I'm here tonight, and that's why you guys stuck this far. But first off, I want to talk about this new Google thing called the author rank. And what it is you've heard of PageRank. PageRank is what Google assigns to a website to create its search result. So you'll often see PageRank. Google will give a website a 1 through a 10 rating. 1 is probably like my site or one of you guys' sites, and 10 is like Facebook and CNN and things like that. So the more a site is higher in the search results, the more links it has to it. All these SEO principles that are like mind-boggling. That creates PageRank. But Google realizes that people can game with the system. We can stuff keywords in places. All the SEO we can game with the system. And we have links coming from our blogs going to our websites, and all these linking strategies and link farms. It's become a giant mess. So they decided and said, why don't we start rewarding websites based on the experience the person has while they're there? Whether if the content is really good, if it's really, 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 really good, the reader, the website visitor, will actually share it and comment and read it and stay there and come back and subscribe and opt in and all this stuff. Now Google wants to see all those conversions take place and reward websites that have killer content that people love with higher search results, other than using the keyword stuffing SEO crazy mind-blowing tactics that we've been doing for 20 years now or something like that, that are someone's always got a new fangled plan to like beat the Google system. But with real content, you can't beat it. Content either is good or it sucks, okay? You can't fake it, all right? So Google knows that. So the more they're putting in these ways to measure whether people really like it, they're going to reward sites with higher positioning, and it's called author rank, and it's going to be coming out this year. So your site has to have 3 elements that I've learned. It has to have content that is involving and emotionally involving, so people will comment, share, and like it. The second thing is that you need to share it, your content, and build more time on your Google Plus social network. So spend a little bit less time on Facebook, if you dare, and go over to Google Plus and start beefing that up a little bit. And also connect your blog posts and your Google Plus profile together just by linking from your blog post to your Google One profile. If you don't have a Google Plus profile, go make one this week, because it's going to be a critical part of them identifying you as an author and then measuring how great your content is and rewarding you with higher search positioning wherever you write stuff. So this persuasion stuff doesn't what we learned tonight, these benefit-laden formulas that make great content, not only apply to your website, but it also applies to any articles that you write on other people's sites and other guest blogs and any ebooks and Kindle books and published books on Google Books. Any place that you've written good content, you'll be constantly rewarded, not just your site. Okay, this is going to be an extremely important strategy for 2013 and beyond that will blow everything out of the water that you've ever learned about SEO. So if that doesn't scare the hell out of you, all you have to do tonight is just buy the Stealth Persuasion program and let me help you put this in place, and I'll even help you with creating your author profile. So I'm going to go look at some of the questions here. I just want to make sure. Let's see. Liz says she loves my work. Great. Joyce says, so you never, ever use a call to action. Well, Joyce, I do it very specifically and very stealthily. It's not something very obvious at all. Usually, my call to action, I don't really have to say a call to action. If I tell a story about how I learned how to overcome a certain obstacle in my life, which in turn made me the expert, very similar to you, Joyce, there's a lot of things that you overcame to become the expert life coach that you are. And the more stories you tell and the more personal those stories are, and the conclusion of what you did to change for the better and solve those problems, those stories in themselves are one giant call to action in leading your prospect right to a product or service. Because when you tell them the solutions are in my consulting and in my teachings and the things I learned about, they don't have any other choice but to leave and suffer or buy and solve their problems. So you don't really have to have a call to action. Sometimes an entire story is one giant call to action, very thinly spread out. So blatant salesy ones, no, I don't use them. Jeannie says, would like to know more about Google Plus and author ranking. I'll definitely be doing an email sending out next week about what I've learned in my research. It's very fresh and very brand new stuff here. Carol says, what if you have multiple target audiences? Well, you can usually target audiences have the same. They might be looking for specific keywords, but they usually have the same problems that they're looking for solutions to. So obviously, the old way of SEO using keywords is still viable for being found, but once the person gets there, they have solutions that they need solutions. The one thing that I want to explain is a visitor is never looking for information. This is very critical. A web visitor is never looking for information, and that's something we think that they're looking for, lots of information, and they're not. No one ever woke up in the morning and said, Martha, I need another 1,000 pages of information today because I don't have enough already. They want a solution to a problem. They're looking for a solution to a problem. That's it. 99.9% of people searching anything on web, whether it's looking for a restaurant or a dry cleaner or a veterinarian, all the way to curing your type 2 diabetes or losing weight or lowering your blood pressure, are looking for the solution to a problem. Is your website set up to be an instant, step-by-step, results-based solution to their problems? And even if you have multiple markets, you'll see that the problems are very similar. So again, go back to that third, actually the very first tip I gave you tonight, understanding your market and seeing how they have problems in common. What else is here? Carol says, what do you think about having a free offer as a lure to get people's name and email? Oh, perfect. You should always have freebies given away. People shouldn't have to buy the information. You should give as much content out as possible because it builds a lot of trust and credibility. The more content that you give away, the more you're branding yourself, the more that people have an opportunity to learn more about you than just the few minutes they spend on the website. If they spend a few minutes on a website and you're giving them a book about how to lower your blood pressure through eating spinach, and it's free, and someone says, well, I love spinach and I have high blood pressure, maybe I should get this book. They'll spend all night reading the book. Well, they may only be on your website for maybe 50 seconds or 75 seconds. If you can offer something for free to capture that email, you're able to market to them over and over forever. So, and Mark says, how can we know about the author rank? I will actually send everyone out an email next week with all my new discoveries. Carol says, do keywords matter anymore? And links. Yes, the keywords matter in terms of being found. If someone puts in how to cure type 2 diabetes or how to get over my anxiety attacks, those keywords need to be on your website so that it matches up. But after that, whether you stay high in the search results or people even engage with your site or even buy or sign up for anything are all based on making an emotional connection. If you want more traffic, links are one thing, but people sharing your content is another. Carol, do you have places on your website, share buttons that people can instantly share on Google Plus and Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn with one click at the bottom of each blog post? If you don't, then no one's, all the linking strategies in the world are not going to help you. Sharing, making things go viral, people believing in what you say, those are very important. Social proof, it's the recommendation that if your friends believe in it, you're more apt to believe in it. So if you see your friends going over and liking a blog post and saying, this guy is the bomb and really cool, then I'm going to say, well, maybe I ought to find out who that is. Sharing is more important than linking keywords or anything else. Sharing is done by good emotional content. Charlene says, my website's homepage desperately needs to be changed. Okay, but what I have there now has comments. If I change it, how much will impact my ranking? I'm not high in the rankings now. Well, then yeah, you definitely need to change it. Charlene, if you have WordPress, which you probably do because most people do, if you change any of the SEO, the copy, the videos, or the theme or anything else, the comments are not going anywhere. They stay there. If you have a traditional website and the comments may end up disappearing for whatever reason, I can't see how that is possible, but I'm not a web designer, so if your comments disappear, take snapshots of them and use them on your testimonials page. You know, interact with these comments and make sure that you record everything that people say and make sure that everyone can see it, and actually use the comments that people leave on your website to create new products and to engage and ask people what their opinions are and what really matters to them so that you can have a better emotional connection to your prospects and your visitors. Carol says, I sell custom products. Should I put the prices on my site? I have been told not to show them. It depends on how expensive it is. And here's my theory on that. If it's just a store of ebooks and CDs, then have them have the real, regular Walmart retail experience. If you walk into Walmart, and I have, and not seen the price on something, I'm scared to take it to the register and have sticker shock. So I tend to not pick it up. For smaller everyday things or things that are more like called impulse buys or things that are under like $30 or $40, just put the prices up there. Now, if you have something like a mentoring program that's $3,000 or some kind of $1,000 system, you shouldn't show the price except until you have what we call the 2/3 formula. Okay, and I learned this from Tom. That means that after 2/3 of the content, 2/3 of the way down the page or through the ad, before it looks like anything is for sale, the first 2/3 of content needs to be benefit building content that doesn't even look like an ad, just talking about how, let's say we're going to sell a product about how to lower type 2 diabetes or cure it. Well, we want to spend time talking about how you cured yours, what lessons you learned, how I should be paying attention to that, what kind of things I should be looking for in a lifestyle change. How can I change the way I think to adapt to a new type 2 lifestyle, free lifestyle? Or how can I change my eating? What kind of things should I be worried about? How type 2 can kill me or destroy my my organs and things. All this content should be things that are interesting and emotionally involved. And then while I'm so emotionally involved, while I have the sales resistance down, that's when you hit me with the price and the ad. And you can tell me, you know, my sales resistance is so lower to that point that it's easier to make the sale. So pricing strategies are extremely finicky depending on the price. And obviously, I can help you with any of that. You can just write me an email, videopower@live.com. Be glad to help you with any kind of pricing strategies. So thanks for your great stuff, Mark says. I'll connect with you later, Colin. Thank you, Mark. I'll connect with you too. Carol says, what about giveaway reports? Yeah, Carol, any kind of freebie is good. In fact, the more content, the better. Here's my formula for freebies. It should be substantial. It should be something totally catered to the problems that your visitors are having. Remember, they're looking for solutions to problems. So the book or the giveaway should always reflect one of the identified problems that you know they're having. Thirdly, it should be of so much value that it could stand alone as a real product in a store, but you're giving it away. And you can even put on your opt-in a $29 or $39 or $49 value, but I'm giving it to you for free. Don't sit there and give them some 2-page pablum just to build curiosity. It doesn't work. Go ahead and give them as much content as possible, and also try to upsell inside the freebie. Always put links. Give away a PDF, anything you can that have links back to sales letters, because if they stay up that night reading that freebie and they're convinced, then they're looking for the solution to the problem right then and now, and you have them at the lowest sales resistance possible because you've been the good guy. You're the hero here. You've given away content. It's solved a problem of theirs. Now the next logical thing is to buy. So don't give away a PDF, Carol, or anything that doesn't have a link right back to some place to buy something. So always upsell in your freebies. Liz says, just updated 2 pages on my website using the wee. Wow, what a difference. Awesome. We love to see you, wee, Liz. Dr. Sue says, do we use our personal name or a website name on Google+? Use whatever it is that you're writing under all the time. Whatever you're writing on your blog posts, whatever you're writing on guest blog posts, whatever your books are named, whatever your author name is what you put on the Google+ profile. So don't use company names and stuff like that. Author, they want to see the author name. Whatever it is, Colin Martin, Bill Smith, whatever author, spread and connected over the web completely so they can connect all that together. Jeannie says, look forward to working with you. Thanks, Jeannie. I can't wait to work with you again. Thank you so much. Julia says, what is your opinion about curated sites, like video article curation sites? I assume these will get punted or pushed down in the author rankings. Not sure what you mean by curated, but usually opinion or curated sites where people can upload lots of information, or information's kind of like pushed together. Google actually thinks that that is high content site, or in fact, those may actually go up a little bit with the author rankings. The problem is it might get rewarded for high content, and it might get rewarded for sharing with the author rank. The author rank is going to be associated with strict content to a real author. So a curation site where there's a whole bunch of stuff by a million different people is going to be diluted quite a bit. So in the author rank may bring it down. So I've yet to see exactly how the curation sites are going to be affected. I would think that you would win, obviously, Julia, by having the best content possible on your site and linking it to every other good piece of content wherever you're published. Julia says, do you help us learn the right amount of content to give away? I understand the value of giving away something that's beneficial, but obviously I don't want to give it all away. Well, that's a very common problem I face a lot. People don't really want to give away the entire farm, but usually people don't see it that way. And here's why. I have given away a 200-page ebook. And that's a lot. And I used to sell that thing for like $97. And then I decided, you know what, I'm just going to give this thing away. Why? Because everything was in the ebook doesn't mean that they're going to do it all themselves. What I found was the more content I gave away, in fact, if I gave away just about everything there was, they wanted more. What more happened to be was higher consulting packages. So a $97 ebook compared to a $1,000 or $2,000 consulting package, I decided to give, the more content I gave away, the more people just wanted to invest more in my stuff. So if you give away a $5 item, maybe they'll buy a $30 item. If I gave away a $100 freebie, they wanted to invest $1,000. So try not to get caught too much up, Julia, in that idea of you're giving away everything so they won't buy anything. People want to buy you. They want to invest in you. And they want you to hold their hand, and they want you to be their personal consultant. So there's always a way to create higher priced products for giving away more and more content. So just keep that in mind. Olwen says, when you say that you will give help with our website, sometimes we may have difficulty implementing the suggestion. Would you provide that assistance? Yes, and what I usually do is any of the critiques or editing that I do when people purchase my system is I actually have, it's a screen capture. It's not, I'm just not writing something down or scribbling stuff out. I'll go over in a screen capture, and a screen capture video is actually looking at your website, and I'm actually going through the website and recording it as I'm watching it, and I'm pulling stuff out and saying, put stuff in here and eliminate these pieces of copy. So you can actually go in and follow the bouncing ball, so to speak, and take out the content that I tell you to take out and replace it with other kinds of content that I suggest, and you'll be implementing it as you watch the video. You can be on one laptop watching the YouTube video that I send you of me tearing your website apart, literally, and you can be on another laptop actually making the changes. So I'm helping you implement those. It's just copy. You're the one that is really the person here that knows your business the best. I'm just going to show you. I'm not going to tell you how to write for your business and what to write for your customers, but I will show you what words and benefits that you may be missing out on that you can just make small switches, changes, and eliminate useless sentences and replace them with more beneficial sentences that will make an entirely new impression on the people that go to your website now. Charlene says, that's a great idea. Thank you. I appreciate that. Charlene also says, I have a website that I'm not doing anything with since it was with a different business focus. Should I just take it down? Never take any website down ever until you talk to me, okay? There you go. Julia says, you grab 5 pieces of news or 5 videos daily. Yeah, the content site or the curation sites, yeah. Yeah, Julia, you can write me a personal email, videopower@live.com, if you want to discuss a little bit more content strategies. I'd be glad to answer anyone's questions because I know it's getting late and we're going to have to get going. If you didn't get your question answered, go ahead and email me at videopower, videopower at live.com. It'll be in the replay tomorrow that I send out. So Jeannie says, how do you get Google Plus to acknowledge doctor title and PhD when you have a huge internet footprint in that name? Internet footprint. Well, just remember what you want, what the author rank will be important for, and what it is your author name, whatever that is. So it doesn't matter about internet footprints. If you are under an author like a persona name or a company name, and that's what you've been authoring under all this time, whatever it is that you write your articles under, your blog posts under, whether that's doctor this and that, it doesn't really matter. That's what you want to keep using. Don't start changing your author profile names and stuff now. You want to make sure you're using the author name that you've been using most often. Carol says, I just bought it. You're very persuasive. Thank you. That's the whole point of this thing. Good job, Carol. Thank you. I can't wait to work with you. That's going to be exciting. Olin says, do you help us to ID our target market if we are struggling and the key message that will be compelling to them? I would appreciate that. Absolutely, Olin, I will. I'm really good at target marketing. All I got to do is just read a little bit about what your business is, and I'll give you keyword suggestions about how to target your market. And obviously, I think, Olin, if I sat at a restaurant in a bar and had a glass of wine with you, you could tell me exactly what's compelling to your people because you're the expert. I don't even know what in the hell you're even teaching, but I know that you're the expert and I could get that out of you. That's where I like to shine. I'm not going to write compelling content about a topic I don't know anything about. I'm going to I'm going to teach you how to discover pulling the compelling content out of you for the people that you work with the best and care about the most. So that's the difference. Julia says, got it. Thanks. I appreciate how generous you've been. Anytime, love being generous. Look at that face down there. I mean, come on. I'm always generous. Charlene says, I bought Stealth Persuasion. Can't wait to get started. I can't wait to get started too. Charlene, I'm excited. This is all very exciting. I love helping you guys out. This really means a lot to me. I want to tell a real quick story before I go. I got one like 30 seconds here before I take off. You know, my kid just moved out. I'm all alone at this apartment except for Vicky being here drinking my wine. And I've been a single dad for the last 5 years. All of a sudden, the kid moved out in August. See you, Dad. Moved up to Pittsburgh. I live in Virginia Beach. And now I'm here all alone. And I don't have anything left but to do but help people. And what I worry about is I'm not here to teach him anything and to show him anything. And all these problems that arise, what does he do? He's Gen X. He jumps right onto the internet and Googles whatever it is that he's looking for. He doesn't call me anymore. You know, he's 19. He's not going to call Dad. He's trying to get away from me. So what he's going to find out there is content that's going to help him out. It's people like you guys writing stuff that are going to help him become a better man. And I have to trust that you guys have the right information to help my kid and my grandkids and everything else make their lives better. So it's important to me that you reach that within yourself and are able to communicate that to best to people like my kid. So through you, I'm able to help create better solutions on the web for people like my son who doesn't call me anymore. So this is why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this for the money, okay? Sure, I make $97 for this, $1,000 worth of stuff, but it's not that much, okay? I'm really doing this for that reason, because I really want the web to be a better place. Jan says, great webinar. I just bought your program and excited about working with you. Jan, you are absolutely the best. Julia says, yes, you're always generous, and we appreciate you. I appreciate you, Julia. Liz says, thank you, Colin. Bye. All right, guys. Well, it's 8:30. I can't keep you guys. I know that I want to thank you for being with me tonight. You could have been anywhere else. You could have spent more time with your family tonight, so I know how important it was for you to spend time with me. But because you did, I know that you are taking your business seriously. So I really appreciate that. So I'm so glad you stopped by here tonight. Remember, if you have any other questions, and you can get them in, videopoweritlive.com. I know that the State of the Union tonight, so you guys want to go do that. Valentine's Day is Thursday. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. And tell your loved one how much you really care about them, because they don't seem to hear it enough. All right, I'm going to take off. You guys have a great night. So see you in the chat box. And if you have any questions, just send them to me in an email. Bye, guys.